See what happens when a military vet discovers the world of podcasting in the all new world of podcasting in the all new.
Wait. Hey, sound guy. Did I read this right? Sound guy.
They give a military vet his
right?
own podcast.
Give a military vet his own podcast.
Who in the world thought that was?
Now, who in the world thought that was?
Aren't you?
You're still recording, aren't you?
Edit that out.
Edit that out.
See what happens when a military vet discovers the whole new world of podcasting discovers the all new The Birdman
in the all new
The Birdman Show.
For real, Cletus. Edit that out, man. For real, Cletus. Edit that out, man. I need his job.
Hey everybody, how are we doing? Hey everybody, back. How are we doing? For those who didn't know what was going on there, beginning. For those who did, we were having some connection issues. Connection issues. We're still trying to work through it. I don't know what's going on. Well, actually, I do know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Well, so we'll still try to get that figured out. We'll still try to get that, but it is what it is. But you already know who I am. You know what this show is. You already know who I am. Show. I am the Birdman. Show is. Let's do it one more time. I am the Birdman. Let's do it one more time for kids and giggles. Yeah, so we're here. We're doing another episode of the Birdman Show. I am, of course, joined Birdman Show with my two co-hosts, Ace and Big Sam. Co-host Ace, how you doing? Once again, Ace, how you doing? Once again.
Doing good. It's going to be an interesting topic tonight, and can't wait to just jump in.
Yeah, me too. Hey, how's your volume level on your mic? Hey, how's your volume level on? I don't know where your mic is positioned. Sound a little low, so I don't know where your mic is positioned. But if you can get a little closer,
is that better?
A little bit better. Sam, Big Sam, how you doing? Big Sam, how you doing?
Not bad now.
Man, I'm good, but I don't know. By the end of this episode, I might be nuts. I know you're talking in both ears, man. Keep repeating yourself, damn it.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. I don't mind hearing my voice. Yeah, I know. At the same time, I really don't like hearing it that much. At the same time, I really don't like hearing it that much. Yeah, I don't. Look, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Look, I don't know. Because for me, it's not necessarily echo. It's more of a delay. It's not necessarily more of a delay. Nah, I really don't. Even though I do have some really great points. I do like to hear them. I do have some really great points. But anyways, I do like to hear them. But anyways, we're really going to try to...
Who said you don't like to hear yourself talk?
You said what?
I said, who said you don't like to hear yourself talk?
Oh, I really don't. Most of the time, I really don't. I don't like hearing myself talk.
But you say a lot for someone who don't.
I don't like hearing myself talk. Yeah. And for me, it's so much. Because normally I don't talk a lot, but it's because normally unfortunately sometimes when I do talk, it's usually I'm usually having to deal with the issue. I do talk, and I don't like it because it seems like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. I don't. So that's when I say I don't like to hear myself talk. So that's when I say I don't. It's just like conversation, whatever. If it's just like conversation, whatever. That much to myself, I'm not really paying attention that much to myself. It is what it is. That's not what we're here for. It is what it is. That's not what we're here for. We are here. We are here to yeah. We are actually here because this episode we are going to talk about dating. The topic is dating. Is it the topic today? Dating is it harder today? Dating in the past versus dating in the past. So we're gonna kind of dive into that. We're gonna kind of dive into that. But before I do that. But I want to say, like always, I want to say, like always, the Birdman Show is powered by Riverside. The Birdman Show is powered by Riverside.fm. Only way to do a podcast. The easiest and only way to do a podcast. But the only way I will ever do a podcast. But the only way I will ever do a podcast. Riverside has amazing editing tools, and Riverside has amazing editing tools that will help you take your podcast that will help you take your podcast. Learn more about it. Check out the link in my Tim Birdman. Check out the link in my Tim Birdman. Come take a flight with your boy, the Birdman, and Riverside. Come take a flight with your boy, the Birdman, and Riverside. And I'll see you in the clouds. Let's get into it. So
Let's
the question,
get into it.
And we did a poll on this. So the question, and we did a poll. We'll go over the results of that later. Later on, we'll go over the results of that later. The question is, but is it the question to date today? Is it harder to date versus dating in the past? Ace, we'll start with you. In the past, what are some of your thoughts on this? What are some of your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. Back in the day, you could get with somebody, and it'd be somebody that you knew, somebody that lived close to you. You could get to know them, build a relationship before you actually jumped into the schematics of the relationship. Today, you've got the internet, you've got all these dating sites, you've got distance. 90% of what you're going to deal with dating today is basically them telling you about themselves through a screen, and you trusting whether or not you believe what they're telling you. And then one of you has to drive hundreds of miles to meet the other one, and then from that you decide whether it's what you want, and then how you're going to move forward with it being a long distance relationship, who's going to move. And then you have to factor in kids, because if one of you has kids, the other one has kids. It's going to be a blended family. The kids don't like you. You don't like the kids. She's not even paying attention. But I mean, there's a lot to factor into dating today, as opposed to dating, say, 15, 20, 30 years ago. I'll go ahead and stop there, because you know how I do. I always get ahead of myself. And
it's all good. It's all good.
The whole show
it's
up.
All
so
good. It's all good.
Back to you,
Sam,
Birdman.
Hey, Big Sam, what are some of your thoughts on this? Now, Big Sam, what is some of your thoughts on this? This is what I like about this. This actual topic. This is what I like about this. This actual topic, like we discussed on a previous episode. Brian's the oldest one out of the group, then me, and then Sam, is then me, and then Sam, is so Brian and I are closer in age. Brian and I are closer in age. We definitely can talk about the old school way of dating and things like that. Talk about the old school way of dating and things like that. Pretty close to dating before internet was actually born. Before internet was actually born. It's kind of hard to think about that. It's kind of hard to think about that. But that's how it is. So we got an opportunity to kind of. But that's how it is. So we got an opportunity to kind of just see how things were done before all, and then evolve into what it is today. So, Big Sam, what are some of your thoughts on our topic today?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you just said, like you guys are so much older than I am, kind of like fossils, really. So you guys definitely have a different perspective on how things were, back in the Stone Age. Me being a modern gentleman, I only have, experience in this day and age, obviously. But I definitely think it's challenging, with just like how the internet is and everything. Everything is online. Everybody's puts their business online. There's no privacy or anything like that anymore. So it kind of goes in with a little bit of what you guys were saying, with the internet, I think making things a lot more challenging. Whether it be like distance or privacy or whatever, really kind of whatever the case may be. But obviously I don't have any experience back when y'all was sending pigeons to each other. So, I'll let y'all speak on that.
Sam, for somebody who lives with somebody else, somebody who lives with somebody else, a lot of craziness, a lot of craziness right now. Got one more time, folks. Anyway,
this motherfucker right
here. Okay, here's my take on it. And it's very simple. My take on it is, it's definitely, it's more. I'm gonna say it's more challenging to date today than it was back, in the past, 5, 10, well, I'm not gonna say 5, I'll say 10, 15, 20 years ago. And the reason why I think it's more challenging, because there's so many different ways to date. I mean, there really is. You can look at it as there's more opportunities to date. But the one thing that Big Sam has said is the reason why I feel it's more challenging and honestly more dangerous today is because of the online dating. Big Sam has said something. He said, because people put their business online, and you know so much about somebody online, this and that. But on the flip side of that, it gives more people the opportunity to lie about who they are. When you are, to me, dating today, there's no element of intimacy to date. There's no, like, I do, I'm gonna be honest with you. Dating, it is what it is. Yes, things are more accessible to you in this day and age. But honestly, I think that's a big reason why relationships don't work anymore, or they're failing more now, because in the past, like A said, you went out, you got a chance to go, talk with that person. You get to see the person, in a public element setting before you even got a chance to really build that type of relationship. And it's just, to me, it's just, dating is an art. It is really an art. And if you don't understand it or know what you're doing, you can get lost and fool around and find yourself in some serious bad situations. To me, I've always looked at dating as the same way as you applying for a job. Because in dating, just like in a job, you got your interview. So what do you do at an interview? You always put your best foot forward, right? Because you're applying for a position at that company or wherever it is. It's the same thing when you're dating somebody. You're applying for a position, whether it's to be the boyfriend or to be the girlfriend. And I think a lot of that gets kind of lost, because majority of the time most people are online. They're got their thumbs going, they're sitting at the computer. And I just think there's a lot of the intimacy level of it has kind of gone away. So so Ace, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna direct this to both of you and Sam. Okay, so I had alluded to just a few minutes ago that Ace and I, we were around before internet, right when the internet was kind of getting started. We had the dial up, AOL, where somebody on the line, you trying to talk to somebody on the computer, and then all of a sudden your mama got to make a phone call. Your game is shut down. All right, mom just shut the whole game down. All right, so this is before online gaming. This is before any of that crap. You know what I'm saying? We had to hear that stupid dial tone thing as it's taking 5 minutes to connect somewhere. So we were around during that time. So we've got the opportunity to see everything evolve from that point to now. All right, and so Ace, I want you to kind of hit on some of the things that you experienced back during that time period as far as dating, and we'll move it up, and then we'll jump over to Big Sam, that so he can talk about a lot more of his experiences and some of the things. We'll talk about some of the dating apps and this and stuff like that. So Ace, why don't you talk to us a little bit about that? Ace, why don't you talk to us a little bit about that?
Dating whenever I was younger, most of the girlfriends that I really, yes, I remember MySpace.
Yes, I do too.
Hey, Becca, go ahead and put your question in the chat, and whenever we see it come up, we will work it into. Oh, Bell, there it is, right there.
Yeah. Hold up.
What should
before
I
you
do?
continue? Hold up, Ace. Before you continue, I need to test something out real quick. I gotta love doing things live. You gotta love, but I've got to see something real quick.
On the fly.
I need you to. I've got to see something real quick. I need you to mute your device real quick. Your device real quick. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay. That's what I thought. Maybe. Kind of. I don't know. Well, the reason why I said that is because you were mute. The reason why I said that is because you were mute everything a minute ago, and then when you came back on, my echo came back. It went away for a little bit, but then it came back. So I was just checking to see if that was the issue, which my echo is gone now.
Yeah, it's your fault, Brian.
Yeah. So it's Ace's fault. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fix that. Okay, we're gonna fix that. So, I'll kind of start off with the question I asked you, Ace. Cindy said the echo is still bad. Well, I'm not getting it at all right now. I wasn't paying attention to the chat, so I don't even know what's going on right now. So I don't even know what's going on right now. Okay, so while I'm doing that, Ace, what I need you to do is I'm gonna need you to unhook that sound, the sound card thing you're running through, hook back into how you normally did, and then we'll see if that kind of helps fix that. Because like I said, there's nothing going on right now. The echo's going and everything, and I'm seeing it in the chat that everybody's saying it's going too. And then what we'll do is when we get an opportunity, yeah, you have to hook your headphones and everything else back in like you normally would. And when we get an opportunity, we'll work through that to see if we can add that in there, because it shouldn't be a problem. But I think because we never really actually tested it, then we'll just have to figure out it, because there might be some things I need to adjust within the app and everything, for that to work and everything. And I might have to tell you there might be some things on your end you have to adjust. So as he's doing that, I'll go in kind of where I was there with him. Okay, so like when we started dating, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't start dating until I was probably about 16, 17 years old. For me, it was just a little different. I was of course, I was highly into sports. I was on, the basketball team, played football, baseball, ran track, got a lot of opportunity, to do some things as far as traveling teams. But, I also grew up in the church. So I was in it, and dating wasn't frowned upon in the church. So like some people might think, oh, well, you're one of those holy rollers. Of course you didn't date. No, it wasn't frowned upon, within the church, to date. And, my father being the pastor and all that, it wasn't that big a deal. I just chose not to. Now, this is one of the reasons why my grandma used to say that I was a lot wiser, than I probably should have been for my age. Because she'd asked me one time, she's like, your brother goes out on dates, why don't you date? And my response to her, I can still remember the look on her face, like her mouth slightly dropped and her eyes got extremely big, because I told her, I said, well, number one, I'm not working. I was like, so if I decide to take a girl on a date, I have nothing to offer. Whatever I'm going to spend money on, I'd have to get it from my parents. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, so what am I taking her out for? Most of the girls I was dating or seeing with at the time, we went to school together. I see you all day long. So if we're gonna go do something, most time it was usually like after one of the games, basketball, football game, baseball, whatever. It was one of those things we was usually chilling out at the park. I wouldn't have to spend no money. You know what I'm saying? We got a chance to talk and, and hang out and this and that. Now there were, of course, other opportunities that we can go out. When I did things around the house or for my grandma, of course, they'd give me money and I'd save my money up. And if I wanted to take somebody out, I'd take them out and I'd pay for it with the money I earned. I never liked taking money from my parents to go take somebody else out. I just thought that was lazy, and that's not something I want to do. Now, when we talk about this dial-up stuff, like people just don't understand, especially today. I know Big Sam has never. I don't think you've ever dealt with any type of dial-up whatsoever. You just do not understand the level of frustration that comes from dial-up versus how we have things today. There's like everything now is instant, and therefore it just really sucks. Ace is back. I think he's still working on it. I think he's back. Camera just went out. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, and I actually hear you a lot better than what I was hearing before.
I'm going.
Okay. So what we're going to need to do is...
We're going to work on the levels later.
Yes. All right.
So we'll get...
do you want me to go ahead and mute? You continue?
Yes.
Okay.
You continue.
First thing I want to do is I want to address... I'm wanting to say this is my daughter that is over here in the chat.
Really loud.
What?
Really loud.
I'm really loud?
Yes.
How about now?
A little
Perfect.
bit better.
How about now?
Better.
Awesome. Okay. Sweetheart, I'm going to tell you right now. If I had to scroll down through a lot of if
Yeah, I've noticed.
this is the way but if this is the way he's treating you, and you guys have already taken a break, and he doesn't want to put a label on it, my honest suggestion to you, darling, let's put more in the chat about him. Carrie was reading it to me as I was getting everything set up. He's not worth your time. If he's not wanting to invest in what you guys are trying to build, or what you are trying to build, then he's not worth a second of your time. And I'm not being biased because you're my kid. I would tell this to anybody. So that's my honest opinion on what you're going through. I've been trying to keep up with you on Facebook and everything, and what you post on there, but he kick rocks. I mean, that's my advice for you to give to him is he's not worth it.
Okay.
But to get back to what, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Before you do that. So this is why I like having the chat with the people in the audience and having that available, because look, the one thing I believe in this show, and Ace can definitely attest to this, I don't care what the subject is. If something comes up that it should be something that could be addressed, that needs to be addressed. Now what Becca's talking about in this is a common thing that unfortunately has happened a lot more in relationships today. And I know she had said she'd been talking to the guy for a little while, about a month, I think she said. Or no, there's a month separation. Yeah. Okay. So okay. I'm trying not to jump ahead, but it might be one of those things we might have to jump ahead. But actually, what we'll do?
At least it's not me this time.
Yeah, I know. We'll hold on to that, because this what she's going through kind of right now kind of jumps into one of the subjects we're actually going to get into, so we can actually hit it a little harder on that one. And so, like I said, I don't want to jump ahead too far, and I don't want to get us too far off the track. But Becca, thank you very much, because that is something that is going on. That is something I really would love to touch on. So, Ace, if you can remember where you're at, get back to it so we can hit over to Big Sam.
You know how I am. I make that walk around the block. Find the squirrels on the way.
It's all gravy, baby. That's what
all
we
right.
do.
Dating whenever I was younger was a hell of a lot easier than what it is now. He does need to up his mic. No, Sam's just soft spoken. You guys leave Sam the fuck alone.
No,
Tim needs to turn his mic up. You're muted.
Yeah, I knew I was muted. But Sam, I raised that up for a reason. It tilts the freaking camera back down so there's not so much freaking head in it. Jesus. I know you're a big guy, and sometimes you like to make yourself. You don't want to make yourself look like a giant, but there's too much freaking headroom. Tilt it back down.
Hey, whoa! Don't nobody want to see that shit. This is a kid's show.
PG-13 at least.
I can't talk with the camera pointed at his crotch. I'm sorry. I can't take it serious. Thank you, Sam. All right, but anyway,
I'll work with them on camera placement and angles later. Go, let's go.
Okay. Just like that when I'm not muted. We'll work on it. Tim gets pounded.
What the hell?
What the fuck are you doing to Sam, Sitter?
What in the orange is new?
Wait,
black.
Wait. I'm gonna mute because I want to see what happens. Oh, it gets louder.
Like what?
This phone is shit.
No, don't blame the phone.
We went from relationships to.
Yeah, I just now see. Cause I'm sitting there trying to write some stuff down, and I'm like, and all of a sudden I hear Ace. I'm like, Tim just told us what? The devil is alive. The devil is alive. Go ahead.
Yes, I have an inhaler for it too. But the wheezing laugh. Yes, that would be me, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Me dating when in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, that's why I told him to lift his camera back up, because I didn't want to see him get pounded either. Me dating back in well, really wasn't the 80s, because in the 80s I was still in junior high, and that wasn't really dating. That was just, I like you, you like me. Okay, let's hold hands in the hallway. That's not dating. That's I wouldn't even call that courting either.
Crush.
That's yes, crush. That's basically for show in school. Whenever I got into high school, I started dating. It was because it was somebody that I could see, somebody who was in front of me. I got to know them. We developed a bond, and we did things. Now, whenever I got out of we did things. Whenever I got out of high school, and well, I can't say that because my first ex, I met her because we were driving down Main Street in Pittsburgh, and I was with my best friend. She held up a 6-pack of beer. I jumped out of his car and jumped into hers. So that's how I met my first ex. And we did things. Just not that night. My second was Rebecca's mom. Now, hers really wasn't a courtship either. We met. She expressed to her friends that she thought I was fucking hot. They told me that she thought I was hot. And I was like, okay. And we did things. But I mean, that was dating whenever you are young, and then you get older and you actually take time to get to know somebody. Why the fuck are you licking your lips while I'm talking about doing things? Are your lips just dry?
I wasn't even paying attention. I was looking at this. I was looking at the chat, and then I was looking at my notes. I really wasn't even paying. I lick my lips all the time, man. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm black, man.
Not
black,
like
man,
that, you don't.
Yeah, I'm black, you know what I'm saying? I don't carry chapstick, you know what I'm saying? That God gave me a tongue for a reason, baby. Come on now. Anyway, go ahead.
But, yeah, look, Becca covered her ears. You were like a doorknob. No, with doorknob, everybody gets their turn. Were you really like that, Angel? Come on now.
She was like, Becca was like, stop.
I know.
Stop. She don't want to hear it.
But then whenever, let's see here, it would have been after.
That's almost like that awkward silence moment right there. Like, whoa.
Oh shit! I pushed a button and I forgot that I didn't have it plugged in anymore. Ain't that some shit?
Oh my god!
It happens, Angel.
Way to go!
Their connection is kind of sketchy, but I'll get to the rest of that later. I don't want to take up the whole segment.
I know. Angel, the black train with the black man.
He's camouflaged. I'm gonna give Sam.
Yeah,
take it away, Sam.
Sam is always traumatized. Okay, so what you got, Big Sam? What is?
I'm getting a really bad history lesson here.
Well, you found out that Brian did a lot of stuff.
Man.
Oh God. Go ahead, bud.
Man, I don't even remember the original question, dog.
Okay, so basically, dating tonight.
How about that?
Today.
I squirreled Sam.
Yeah. So I don't know, but dating now, because Brian basically talked about dating back in the past, as far as when we first started dating. Going from like internet is a prominent thing now, but internet was non-existent when we start coming through the ranks. So now that saying, because you're 25, right? Right.
Yeah, I'm 25.
Yeah, 25, 'cause you just had a birthday. So being 25, of course, you're out of high school, you haven't been out of college that long, but, you're out of college, seeing the difference, well, actually, you wouldn't see the difference because you didn't even know about what was going on in the past. But talk about some of the things in your time during dating as far as seeing, how people utilize the internet. You can talk about dating apps, or your own experiences working at the bar, as a bouncer and now as a bartender.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like, I grew up with this shit. So, like, I remember when, like, Tinder, which, talking about, like, dating apps and shit you kind of mentioned earlier, like, I remember when that shit came out. I was on that shit as a fucking, like, sophomore in high school. Like, so I don't really, like, use that, like, exclusively or anything like that, but, like, it's been around for the better part of like 10 years for me, like I kind of grew up with that. But then too, like you said, I work at a bar. I do get a lot of like face-to-face interaction too, a lot of different people, a lot of different women. So I guess I kind of, at least like me personally, just because of like what I do for a job and everything, I kind of get a little bit of what you guys are talking about with like the face-to-face interaction and like actually like seeing and like talking to people. But I have grown up with the internet and I've seen these things, start and develop and just kind of grown up like alongside them. So, I don't know. I don't really have too much experience with it. Like I said, I don't really use it that much. That's just me. I'm kind of more of a private, kind of keep to yourself type of person. So I don't really put myself out there like that. I mean, I'm just chilling. So, I'm sure a lot of other people around my age have different experiences with it. And
Yeah, I'm definitely sure about that.
It's other people that use it a lot more than me.
I hear you on that. Oh, I'm sure there are. Like I said, I agree with that. I agree with what Ace was talking about as well. To me, like I said, dating was okay. If you're a kind of shy person, not so much like outgoing, outspoken type person, dating can be a lot easier for you today than it would have been in the past. Because in the past, you didn't have those tools to be able to help you break the ice, with somebody. You actually had to be able to, use your words, look that person in the eye and say what you had to say. Or like most people would do, just write a note and say, I like you. Do you like me? Circle yes or circle no, whatever. That's basically the start of the internet right there. But anyways, it can be easier. And like I said, because online, you can take a picture of yourself, use whatever filter you have to make your, take away blemishes or make yourself look more glamorous, and a lot more women do that than men. But make yourself look more glamorous, do all this other stuff. So it can be easier, but like I said, at the same time, it can be harder because, if it wasn't like that, they wouldn't be making MTV shows like Catfish, where, people are going on dating online and all of a sudden, saying you're like, hey, I'm 6'5", I weigh 125 pounds and I have like 0 body fat. And then you meet, for a woman, if you meet a man, you meet him and he's like 5'5", looking like a hobbit. But you know what I'm saying? It's just it's just like I said, the dating today, yes.
Hey, it's all right, ladies. Yes, I am a bona fide 6'4". Ain't no lies there.
Oh my God. So, but like I said, it to me, I do believe, to me, I'm be honest. Sometimes I think I can go either way when it comes to the subject, because I think it can be harder today than it was in the past. And I can think, sometimes it's harder in the past than it is today, because the simple fact is, in the past, if you didn't have no car or anything like that, it was almost impossible to go pick up a date. Today you can Uber. You know what I'm saying? You can Uber it. You know what I'm saying? You just tell your boy that, yo man, I'm about to go meet up with this girl. Or nowadays, most females you trying to go date, they got a vehicle. So, you know what I'm saying? So you can ride with them if you're the guy. Of course, women, they can definitely catch a ride anywhere with somebody. So it is what it is. But here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get into our next topic on this. What do you got? You got something nice?
About catfishing.
Okay.
Been there, done that. Bitch said she sitter. See, look at Becca. She got the eyes out over there in the chat. The bitch said she was said she was 5'8". I know we don't talk about that, but still, it says she was 5'8", 125 pounds. I rented a fucking car.
Blonde hair, right?
Yes, dishwater blonde. Says she was 24, 25 years old. No. She was 28. Because this was back in 2014. She was 28. Rented a car. Took my brother as a co-pilot so that we could split. You rented a car was rented. And I took my brother as a co-pilot to split the driving. We drove all the way to California to go meet this girl and pick her up and bring her back to yes, fishy. and not so much a good fishy either. We get there, and at this point, Mike is my brother is driving, and he drives by the house, and I see this chick standing in the door, and I was like, oh God, I hope that wasn't her. We get there. I had already developed feelings for her because we talked on the phone and everything, and we communicated through chat and all this and that, and feelings were there. We get there, and her 5'8" turns out to be 6'3". Her 125 pounds turns out to be just shy of 280, 300, somewhere around in there. So I was actually looking up to her.
Brown hair.
Yeah, brown hair. And I went ahead and I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. Because, you know, the whole saying, I may be an asshole, but I'm an asshole with heart. Shut up, Sam. Or shut up, Tim. On the way back, I guess we had stopped somewhere, and she'd got up in the front seat, and her and Mike were talking, and I was in the back seat acting like I was asleep, listening to the conversation, and I was like, that's not what she told me. That's not what she told me either. Okay, that one's definitely not what she told me. We switch over, and I start driving. We get to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay? Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we stop at a... yes, he took a left.
Yes.
What did you say? You said don't do it. You said don't go. I should have listened to my sitter. But we got to Albuquerque, and we stopped at an IHOP. And the icing on the cake was she had told me that she had a tramp stamp. Okay? When she went to get out of the car, I looked. There was no tramp stamp.
Probably had a whole tattoo.
So whenever we got into... Damn! Easy now. But whenever we got in there, and I said it was a good thing I didn't go because I would have asked her if she ate the original. She did say that. My sister did say that. But we got into IHOP, and I started questioning her. And whenever we got back out to the car, my brother's like, I'm going to go get me a pack of cigarettes. If you need me, call. I was like, okay. So we're sitting here talking and everything, and in the middle of all of this coming out, this was when I had my first panic attack. And I had her call Mike because, of course, I'm not able to. I'm seizing in the front seat. Ambulance gets there. Mike follows us to the hospital. She comes in. She wants to come back there with me. And I looked at Mike and said, get her the fuck out of here. Get her out of here. I said, find her a fucking bus. Find her a taxi. Something.
Find her a bus. Here's a bus.
Get her the fuck out of here. So by the time I got discharged, Mike had found a Greyhound station, and of course they weren't able to take her stuff because she had a lot of stuff. That's another story. But we got her to the Greyhound station, and her uncle, I'm pretty sure it was her fucking dad, was going to send us money to get her home. And I was like, no. If you've got the money to give us for gas, then you've got the money to buy her a fucking ticket. So you buy her a ticket, and then you can exchange whenever she gets there. We got back to the house, and we started going through her stuff. I think Desi's right. I think she did eat the other one. Because some of the clothes that was in these boxes, or in this stuff, some of the clothes that was there, was the size that they should have been. Just not for her.
He was probably taking them and cutting them up and then throwing it back together. But
yeah. I just had to get that out since you had mentioned catfishing, because that does not go into the next topic. So there's that.
I think what happened was, like, y'all was talking online, and you might have accidentally clicked the wrong thing, because you sound like you was talking to a linebacker for the Oakland Raiders. Cause good God, and you better than me. You much nicer than me. Cause if I'd have drove all the way out there and ran into something like that, and I'd been like, hey, I know y'all been looking for Bigfoot. Well, I found him. So y'all need to come pick this sucker up. And I would like my reward money in small bills. That's exactly what I would have told him. I want my reward money in small bills. Hey, I'm telling you, we're gonna have to square up after that.
Real boxing gloves.
Sam, hey, yo, big
rounds.
That's real talk right there. Yeah, I'll be like, you got me out here like that. I don't drove my whip all the way out here. I said, well, y'all rented the vehicle, but I don't drove all the way out here to pick your big. Look, we going to Walmart. We're gonna grab some boxing gloves. You know, matter of fact, forget that. We going old school blood sport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, because I'll be damned if I'm gonna be taking that big thing back home with me, messing up the shocks in my ride. No, not happening. And then you sit up and talk about, you in the back seat and she talking about some stuff, talking about she didn't tell me that. First of all, fam, you should have known once you saw her big ass. Everything was a lie from that point. The whole stuff, it was a whole set. They was all a lie from that point.
I still remember the look on Mike's face whenever we pulled in the driveway and he saw her. He pulls in there and he's like, "Is that her?"
I can imagine it.
I don't know.
Fam, I couldn't have done it. Like I said, like Big Sam said, we've been throwing, the hands that have been thrown. And these bad boys are ready to eat for everyone. At that point in time, you bigger than me, I'm no longer a woman.
I don't know, Sam. I don't know, Sam. She might have been able to have took you.
Nah, I fight dirty. I fight the military. I fight dirty. There are no rules. I'd pick up a cap or something.
They saw the picture of her standing next to me. Ask Desi and Becca. Nah. They saw the picture of her standing next to me.
Well, I'd have went to the sporting goods store and got a bow and arrow or something. I'd have been big game hunting in this sucker. Got me messed up here. What? You got my feelings, man. You got me in my feels right now. Anyways, we gonna take a. Oh Lord Jesus, compose yourself. Woosah. Okay, we gonna take a quick break. We gonna come back. We might have to get into a little bit more of these scary catfish stories, because I know I got a couple. And actually, fortunately, they weren't even actually. No, take that back. One was me. One was done to me, and then another one that really almost got my buddy when we were in the military. We might talk a little bit more about that when we get back. But stick around with more of the Birdman Show. Hey, it's the Birdman here. I have a question for you. You can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. It's really everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And the best part about it, it's totally free. So what the heck are you waiting for? Go to podcasters.spotify.com to get started. Just say a little birdie told you. Hey everybody, we're back. It's the Bird Man. Do it with me one time. Do it with me one time. It is the Birdman Show. We rocking and rolling. I still got Ace rocking with me. I still got Big Sam rocking with me. Fun fact, I did not know that if I muted my mic, it mutes everything else. That's freaking awesome. So, that's the reason why you didn't hear the commercials at the beginning, because I muted myself. Because I thought, hey, I'll just mute myself. Great. Outstanding. But that's what I love about it. Learn something new every single day. We're talking about dating. Is it harder today versus in the past? We talked about Brian, Ace and I being the elder statesman of the show. Talked about the time when there was dial-up and there wasn't this online stuff. Big Sam talked about some of the online stuff, some of the dating apps, and stuff like that in the first part of the show, and then Ace entertained us with one of his catfish stories where he was almost kidnapped by Paul Bunyan, and so it was great stuff. Can't make this stuff up. So we
So much for composure.
Because the wheels of my head are just spinning to how big this mammoth sucker was. I'm thinking in my head like literally if that situation truly happened to me, what was the first thing I'd be doing? The first thing I'd probably do is go to the trunk, grab a crowbar, smack that fool in the kneecaps, bring her down to my level, and then commence to putting hands on. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. Listen. Full disclosure. I'm not saying that it's okay for men to hit women. I'm not saying that. No, it's not okay. That's not what we're talking about here. But I will say this: if you're bigger than me, I take you out of that category. If you look like you've done time in state prison, we fighting like two dudes in the playground. We fighting like two dudes.
Two dudes. Two dudes.
You know what I'm saying?
Two dudes dressed like nuns.
And then what got me was you started talking about the tramp stamp, and I'm like, I thought you were gonna say, she had a tramp stamp, but then when you look, it actually was just the bottom half of Texas. But on a that's what I thought you were gonna say. My bad. Okay. Anyways, we're moving right along. Okay, so we had a poll question that we had placed on I had put on the Birdman Show group page. I'd also put it on the Birdman Show or my personal Facebook profile, which is Tim Birdman Simpson. And the poll question was, of course, it goes along with what we're talking about here. Is it harder to date today versus dating in the past? And it really wasn't much. It was 100%. I mean, everybody said it's harder to date today. Now, in the comment section of the show, going off of that, I'm asking the question once again to the audience members. You give your while we're moving forward, you give your own personal reason why you believe it's truly harder to date today versus the past. Now, the good thing about this in our live studio members, which is better than dead studio members, in the live studio audience, we have a wide range of ages, and people that have had different dating experiences. So this should be really good because, like for Ace and I, age plays a lot into why it's different, why we may think it's harder. For somebody like Big Sam, because he hasn't never had experiences that we've had doing without a lot of this stuff, it's completely different. So like I said, I can see where maybe he thinks it might be easier today or harder today. I can also see it on going back and forth on our end. So as we're doing, like I said, as we're doing that, we're gonna go through. Angel said I would not want to be single today. Oh, Angel. Don't get me started on this. That's a whole different other subject. We'll tackle that. As far as that goes along with the series that I plan on talking to the fellas about doing when it comes to a lot of this stuff. So, Ace, you kind of hit on this word that we're about to talk about now earlier in the show, and I want to talk about the difference between dating and courting. Okay, because there's a huge difference. Even though they have this, it's basically the same. It's not the same. Okay, it's just not. Okay, just like regular coffee is not the same as Starbucks. Yes, they both contain caffeine, but no, not the same. It just doesn't happen that way. So what we're gonna do is now, Sam, Big Sam, I know you definitely understand. Yes, it is. It is. It's from the heaven. Big Sam, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you start talking about dating, your understanding and knowledge of what dating actually is, and then I'll have Ace talk about courting, because that's a word that we're a little bit more familiar with. I'm not saying that you're not, but if it's just be easier, or we can flip flop it. I mean, do you want to talk about courting? Or do you want to talk about dating? I'm not saying you don't know. I'm just asking. I just thought it would be easier if we did it that way.
I'm a wise young man, all right now.
Well, first of all, you look like you're 80, so don't talk about the wise young man crap. The beard, you look like you came from the Stone Age. So of course you might be wise. I don't freaking know. I'm just asking a question, bro. I just thought it would be easier that way.
I answered your question too, but you decided to roast my ass. I said, I'm a wise young man, but I don't know shit about courting. Alright, so okay. I don't want to talk about no courting, but I can talk about courting, man. That's fine. I'll talk about dating. Damn.
Okay, then you go ahead and talk about the dating aspect.
Y'all was talking about y'all's carrier pigeons earlier. Man, that's how y'all had to used to correspond. Talk about, man, we have no internet, we had this dial-up shit.
They were homing pigeons.
Yeah.
Get it right, they were homing pigeons.
But you were the one that was talking about that. We didn't say anything about that. But anyway, your understanding of dating and what it is, talk about that for a sec there, Big Sam.
I feel like dating it's obviously a lot more casual than what I would assume courting is, because I don't know what the fuck it is. But it just feels it's a lot more of a casual thing, I think, where you're just kind of really just trying to feel somebody out, kind of get to know them a little bit. So maybe you go on like 2 dates with somebody and you're just really not like feeling it. You still have options. Like you're not with that person, you're just still trying to feel them out a little bit, like see if you guys kind of click and if things are good, that's kind of what I feel like dating is for the most part.
Okay. I mean, you're definitely not wrong in that. Okay, so Ace, talk to us about courting and what the big difference is between courting and dating.
Okay, I'm going to touch on a couple of things in the chat real quick. Yes, Starbucks is better.
You're going to answer the question first. And
dating is more difficult at our age than what it is for the younger folk. And I'm going to agree. I'm going to start off with Cindy's comment. Cindy made the comment that courting, and it's true, courting is getting to know somebody on a more intimate level, not sexual. Mm-hmm. You are actually taking the time to get to know who they are, what they want, where they want to be. Back in the day, back whenever I say back in the day, I'm talking about before our time, before our parents' time. Courting was the only way that you got to know someone. It's the only way that the parents would allow you to show an interest in their daughter or in their son. Actually, it was in their daughter because back in that day, the daughters didn't go ask if they could court somebody's son. But it was the only way that they got to know that person. You would go ask permission from their father. It's like, can I court your daughter? And they would say, what are you offering? Here's a lamb. Here's a sheep. that I don't know if that's true. I mean, I'm sure in some cultures it is, but in ours it's not. I just had to kind of throw that in there. Angel said stop. Yes. But it was true in Kentucky. Okay, so Angel confirms it.
There's a lot of things that are true in Kentucky.
And the thing of it is whenever you were courting somebody, there was nothing sexual involved. You might hold hands. If you're not feeling the relationship, you wouldn't even think about kissing until like the third date. It wasn't about it wasn't about who saw you guys together or how that person would benefit you socially or intimately. It was about actually knowing who they were, getting to know every aspect. And courting today, I don't remember who it was that said it in the chat, but they said, nobody has time to court today. And it's true. Because with the way that... Was it Angel? Yeah. Okay, Angel's the one that said that. With the way that everybody's lifestyle is today, the way that you have to bust your ass at your job, and then whenever you're not busting your ass at your job, you have to bust your ass to keep up your household. And I mean, you're always busting your ass to do something. That's why dating for people our age, the 40 and above group, it's not easy for us to date because we don't have time to get to know somebody. And our generation, we actually wanted to get to know people before we just said, hey, you want to fuck?
Because your time is running out.
Because what? Motherfucker, because what?
I said that's because your time is running out.
Yeah, fuck you, Sam. Hey, I can turn that fucking hourglass upside down just as easy as you can. But that's my take on courting. And especially today, it's a different meaning whenever you hear somebody say you're getting to know somebody, you're getting to know them by your thumbs. That's how you're getting to know them. And okay, you can take that way too. But you're texting them, or you're Snapchatting. Hell, you might even be fucking video chatting with them to ensure that is who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's the one thing I love about it. That's one thing you gotta love about
exactly. it. Exactly. But I mean, it's not the same.
California.
Fuck you. You're a dick. All right. That's my take on courting. Back to you, Birdman.
Okay. Okay, this is what I'll say. Yeah. I agree with both of y'all. Now here's what I'll say when it comes to dating and courting today. In order to really ensure that you're doing it the right way, I think it needs to be a mixture of both. Because in courting, like Ace had alluded to, you took more time to get to know that person. And the reason why I say that is because, okay, I'll just give a little personal insight to me. Okay. Now I've been married 4 times. Okay. It's not something I talk about a lot. And the only people that really I talk to about it are the people that are, the closest to me. I feel that are my close knit net. A lot of reasons I do that. It's not because, whatever. I do it because, number one, I don't care about the relationship.
No.
But yeah, okay. I don't care about the relationship, whatever happened, this and that. I don't. I will not. I refuse to badmouth my exes for whatever reason. I don't care if they did me dirty, and trust me, I was in those type of relationships, and that did happen to me. Now, a lot of the reason that is because with 3 of my exes, I have children with. I have a child with 3 different women. That's number one for me. I don't badmouth my exes because my exes, 3 of my exes, are the mother of my children. And so I won't do that. That's just not me. Because I don't want something I say to get back to my children. I don't really care about her, or them, but I don't want to get it back to my children because I do not want them to see their mother in a negative light. I wish I could say that it's the same, on their end, which is funny to me. And it was something I think it was one of my uncles used to say to me a lot. He was like, you know what? If you really want to know who was really wrong in the relationship, listen to the one that talks the most. Listen to the one that talks the most about the relationship. The one that usually talks the most about the relationship or is bad mouthing the other person in the relationship, 9 times out of 10, they were the one that was the problem. The one that's not really saying anything, only thing they're really wanting to do is move on with their life. They really just want to move on with their life. They just want to kind of just go on with their life and just put that chapter of their life behind them. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't, because I mean, it just really is what it is, because it doesn't matter. If I'm sitting there talking, guess what? Like everybody should know, if you don't know, there are 3 truths in every story. There's his truth, there's her truth, and then somewhere in the middle of all that crap is the truth. And so it's one of those things, like if somebody wants to come to me and ask me something, I say, okay, what did they say? And I'll sit there and say, okay, I will confirm that part, or no, that's not what happened. No, not happening. Now, when it comes to the whole, like I said, I think it needs to be a mixture of both, because I don't think we take enough time. And like I said all that to say this, because I don't think we take enough time to truly get to know somebody. Because how many times have you been in a relationship and then, a little bit down the road, all of a sudden you're like, well, they're not the same person, or they're not the person I thought they were, they were, or they were telling me this and that. When honestly, 9 times out of 10, any problem you have in a relationship, if it's a serious problem to where it's going to cause you guys not to be together, I guarantee you there were flags and there were things that you missed that you just blatantly ignored because you said you were in love with that person, or you just felt like you needed to be with that person. we don't take time anymore to really get to know each other. Like Big Sam has said, you got the dating apps. You know what I'm saying? Everything is just right there at your fingertips. Ace had talked about it. They're texting each other. Everything is instant now. And the one thing that cannot be instant is true love. That building that connection, building that intimacy, learning each other's love language, and truly listening to each other's love language is being lost because everybody wants everything instantly. So when we start talking about dating, courting, however you want to look at it, they both are really the same. The only difference is, like Big Sam alluded to, dating, people view it as being more casual. So therefore, what they do is they just treat it like they're test driving a car. I'm gonna test drive this for a little bit. I'm not really feeling it. Take it back to the dealership. And that's what's happening. Like Ace talked about courting back in the day, which what he was talking about really was damn near medieval times and back in biblical times. With the goats and everything. I'm like, goats? Well, who's got the goat? But anyways, hey, hold on, preacher. What chapter of the Bible?
Why do you think they wore cowboy boots whenever they were out on the farm back then? That's where the goat's legs went.
Oh Lord Jesus, man! I don't even. No, bro, we're not doing this. Not on this show. We ain't doing it on this show, brother. We're not dope. I'm not dope. Anyways, but yes, you had to offer something. You had to offer something, to the family, the father of the family, in order to be able to see, this, even be able to talk to their daughter. So think about it this way. Think about today in this today and age. And Ace, I'm gonna ask you first. In this day and age, what is even the point of dating? Better question. In this day and age, what is even the point of marriage? Because I'm going to ask you, I'm asking that question to follow up with this question. Because what can you get? What are the benefits in a relationship in marriage that you can't get when dating?
Honestly, there's not. I have gotten to the point. I also have been married and divorced 4 times.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have everything that you need, like everybody's saying, insurance, marriage is deeper. Marriage is deeper than just a piece of paper. Yes. Whenever it comes to your relationship, if the relationship has everything that you need in your life without being married, or if you already feel like you are married, you don't need to sign a piece of paper to make it legal. My honest opinion is, why do you need a certificate to show your love? Because that's basically all you're doing, is you are getting up in front of a room full of friends and family to have a judge announce to everybody that you are in love. Do you need a certificate to make that true?
Depends on who you talk to. I mean, it really does.
What?
I like. It depends on who you talk to, and like I said, I agree. But here's one thing I will say. When it comes to that, and Big Sam, I'm about to hit you with this. I asked that question not because I don't believe in marriage. I truly, I wholeheartedly believe in marriage. I think if you're with the right person and going and getting married is what you want to do, by all means do it. I'm not like it. Like I said, been married 4 times. Obviously, I don't have a problem with it. It's like obviously I don't have a problem with committing. Go ahead.
Now I do want to say one more thing. I'm actually going to CYA or CMA. I that's my belief, and I don't want to push my belief on anybody else, knowing
Right.
that you and Des intend to get married. So, just because I believe that we are 100% happy and we don't have to get married to prove that to anybody, that's what we believe. And Des said no.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
But anyway, no, I have not. You know, being the best man, I should have known this shit. Asshat.
They're gonna throw a party.
All right, anyway.
They're gonna throw a party.
Oh, you fucking ain't right. We still gonna throw a damn party.
But okay, like I said, I definitely still believe it. Like I said, it is what it is. And we're not gonna get into. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing of the marriage thing. So Sam, same question goes over to you. As far as and actually, I already know what Sam's gonna say. That's why you're over there grinning.
We've already mentioned this to Big Sam once already. We know what his answer is going to be.
That's like I looked over at him and I was like, I don't know why I'm even asking him this question. all right, Big Sam. Go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and share? You already know the question. What's the benefits of being married versus being just dating? Is there a benefit?
Man, not a damn thing. Not a damn thing, man.
Thank you.
The only reason I'm gonna get married is if I find my damn sugar mama and I want that damn life insurance, goddammit. Oh shit, excuse me. Oh my goodness. That's all I'm looking for, man. That's all I need.
And what are your requirements in that sugar mama?
Yeah, I was about to ask, yeah.
Big booty. Looking like a horse, boy. Big booty.
You looking for a thoroughbred, boy. You looking for a thoroughbred. You looking for Mr. Ed's cousin, boy. He looking for the black stallion.
I need a stallion.
Woo! You looking for that Georgia peach? But yeah, like I said, that's a whole different topic we'll get into about the benefits of relationships as far as marriage, dating, this and that. Should you know what I'm saying? Of course, everything is an opinion, and we don't ever try to force our opinions on anybody, unless you just keep coming up to getting up in my face about something. Then I'm gonna force my opinion on you. But anyways,
At that point, it's not an opinion.
Oh, at that point, it's called a closer. Anyway, or a clothesline. But okay, so I want to touch real quick on some of the comments we've gotten. I'm looking at one now. And Cindy had said, marriage used to be a commitment before God, which is 100% true. And what I want to say about that, Cindy, is you're 100% right. The problem is, number one, especially if you believe in God, God has been taken out of pretty much everything in life. It really has been. So what happens is you get the newer generations, or even some people are converted over, and they stop believing in that type of thing. So therefore, it doesn't hold as much weight to them anymore. And then you get the ones that, like I said, if you have already been married and that other person broke that vow, then now you start getting a sour taste in your mouth and in your heart. So like, okay, why did I get married to begin with? It's like, what was the point in it? Angel get booted off. Oh, something might have happened. Yeah, because technically I can boot somebody off, but I didn't. But anyways, but no, so sometimes what happens is, that just the importance of some things have been lost. And I think when it comes to a lot of this stuff, you get I don't want to get into it, but you get a lot of movements that go on where people are more focused on what they want to call their rights, and it's become more about oneself than you and the other person. You hear a lot of people say in a relationship, if they're having issues, well, I feel like, or I think that, and there's rarely anybody saying we, us together. There's
another thing.
More of it's the me. Go ahead.
Right. With you saying it's always me or I. Another thing that you are seeing more common in this day and era is if somebody does get married, there's always a prenup. That way, me and my is going to be me and mine if something happens, because they don't. If they're doing it for love, then why sign a prenup? Because if you love the person, then they're not going to take half of your money if the time comes you guys get a divorce. But if you have to have them sign a prenup, that tells me from the beginning that you don't trust them, but yet you're still willing to marry them.
What that says to me is, first of all, you dumb. You dumb as hell. Okay? All right. Prenup. Look, I never had to worry about prenup because I ain't ever had no money. Okay? So I never had to worry about that. All right? That's one of the reasons why I never bought nothing. I always rented because I didn't have to worry about it. You take a half. It's hard to get a half of zero. Okay? You still working with zero. All right? That's all I'm saying. So, it is what it is. But like I said, the prenup, I'm be honest with you, sometimes, especially like with my boys, and they are doing okay for themselves. And it's like, oh, I got this girl, I'm gonna get married. You better talk about a prenup, fam. What you bring into this relationship is what you take out of this relationship. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, okay, for a man, it makes more sense than it does, honestly, in most cases for women. Not to say that, women can't say they want a prenup. No, it doesn't matter. But the incentive for a man to do something like that, or for incentive for, and I'm not saying don't get married or, be in a relationship or this and that, but the incentive for a man not to is far greater than for a woman because of some of the things that Ace had said. You get divorced, she's taking half of your stuff, even though she didn't work a day in the job. You know what I'm saying? If you get divorced, she's taking the kids because you already know they're just putting the kids with the mother, and then the mother's not even proving that she's a fit mother. They're putting the mother with the kids, and it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're gonna put the child, with in the best interest of the child financially, this and that. Okay, well, if I'm having to give up half my check, that means I'm making more money. So financially, would it make more sense for the child to be with me? Like, none of this stuff makes sense. There's a lot of, and I hate saying it, especially now, it sucks because there's been so many women out there who have been horrible. They've been horrible wives. They've been horrible girlfriends. They've been horrible mothers, but yet still they've gotten rewarded just because they're a woman. And I hate that because there are a lot more men out there than they want to talk about that are good fathers, good husbands, that've been great boyfriends, and they are getting stripped of everything. Now, of course, I'm not gonna get on that because it is very personal for me, but it sucks that happens. All right, so yeah, now what's starting to happen is a lot more men are just saying, you know what, why, most of these women out here just giving it up anyways. You know what I'm saying? I think one of our was it Angel. Angel, she was like a doorknob. I'm not making fun of you, Angel, but I mean, this is kind of what's going on today, and I think a lot more men are starting to figure out that women are just as bad as men, in some cases worse, when it comes to sexual encounters. Because most guys, okay, let me ask you this question. Big Sam, let me ask you this question. In this scenario, if, and I'm not gonna say if it's a man or woman, I'm just gonna give a scenario, and then I'll say what role played what role. Person comes up to the other person and says, yo, you fine as hell. I'm trying to get you back to the room, and I'm trying to smash right now. What's good? Okay. The other person says, I really don't feel comfortable with that. I'm just going to ask you to kind of leave me alone. Now, that being said, is that sexual harassment? In your mind, Big Sam, do you think that's sexual harassment? Even though you'd probably welcome that.
Man, first of all, I see you're unfamiliar with my game. Damn. I think it depends on, the context. Like, if you're in a workplace and that happens, yeah, I would consider that, sexual harassment. And if you're at, a bar or something, I feel like it's a little bit different, just based on, where y'all is at. So I feel like it kind of depends on the context and, where the fuck y'all are,
Sam, this is why I love you, man. Because you literally walked right into that trap. And the reason why I say that is because, number one, it was a woman saying it to a man. Now, you wouldn't really think that was sexual harassment because most guys are like, oh my God, I got a girl hitting on me like that. Man, that'd be awesome. But if it's flip-flop,
oh, I figured that's what you was doing with the question.
No, that wasn't, because you actually said what I was hoping you kind of wouldn't say, but I knew you were going to say.
I figured
it doesn't matter the place.
Well, I figured you had.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know me.
Well, I just figured that the woman was the one that was asking. But no,
yeah.
I mean.
But the second part of that, and you said, well, if you're at a bar, it's a little bit more acceptable, or you should expect it. It doesn't matter the place. It doesn't matter where you're at. That's just like telling a woman, just because you wear a short skirt and you're walking down the street minding your own business, that you're asking for somebody to come attack you. If you're dressing, like I say, if you got a prostitute's uniform on, I mean, you might don't expect for at least not to get asked the question of how much.
That ain't even close to what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that when you hear that, that's something that you hear a lot of, because somebody will say, it depends on the place, depends on the person, depends on the context. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody can say the exact same thing, but in a joking way, and it's not an issue. Because I feel that's like where you're kind of going when you said the context, which is perfectly fine. Once again, it kind of depends on the two people. All right. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to get into red flags. Yes, I know everybody's, they're really, 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 really excited about that. So what we're going to do is take a quick break, do a little commercial, and we'll be right back with more of Birdman Show.
Doobie Energy Drinks is an energy drink that you can mix at home. It's specially formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. The formulas contain vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented neural factor. It has no calories, no sugar, no fillers, and no artificial colors. So if you need something to give you the energy to take on the world, Doobie Energy is what you need. Go to doobie.gg. That's DUBBY.GG. Use promo code Birdman Show for 10% off of all your orders. And tell them the Birdman sent you.
Yo, hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, we're back. It is the Birdman Show. I'm with Birdman. I am still here with Ace and Big Sam. Guys, how we're doing? First couple of segments. First one we talked about dating. Is it harder today versus in the past? We talked about different aspects of relationships, different things like that. So first of all, how are we still doing? Big Sam, how you holding up?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We getting through it. It's a good time. Having a great time.
Getting closer to the end of the show. Ace, how you doing? They're dying laughing.
You said we're back with Ace and Big Sam, and you know how I always go like this? Well, I'm sitting here trying to clear the table off to get ready for trivia, and all I did was I forgot a finger.
Well, I saw the
so I just pinkied everybody. Yeah, I'm drinking tea.
Yeah, I saw it in the corner of my eyes, so I thought you were doing your trademark. Yeah. Okay. So what I want to do is real quick. I kind of want to tackle. Actually, I want to ask you guys a couple questions. And for those of you who are watching, and that are here, they're here or in the live audience. Ace, I'm gonna start with. Actually, no, I'm gonna start with you, Big Sam. To you, what are some red flags that you would pick up on when it came to if you're going out with a woman? I should just say going out. I don't want to assume, but I don't want to assume that you don't. Anyways,
man, shut the hell up. A couple. I wrote down a couple. There could probably be more that I could think of. I got a couple notes, man. I got like 4 lines. I did some real hard work.
Do it, baby. Go ahead, go and get it.
A big one for me is like bashing an ex. I know you would kind of mention that a little bit ago that you don't do that. I'm the same way. Yeah. I'll never talk bad about any of my exes. At one point in time, you love that person. They might have done you wrong, whatever the case may be, whatever happened, it ended. At one point in time, you did love that person, though. So just talking bad about somebody when you had that type of connection doesn't sit right with me.
Yes.
Next 2 kind of go hand in hand. I got being overly critical and also being unsupportive. Like, if you're not going to support me in what I want to do, dreams that I have, whatever it is, why would I want you around anyway? And then to that point, like, if I've got you, like, just being overcritical about shit is tiring. When I do something a certain way, just because that's how I've always done it or whatever, and I'm getting met with, well, why are you doing it like that? That's so dumb, and shit like that. That just gets tiring, man, and don't nobody want to hear that shit. Let's just be honest about it. And then my last one that's a really big one for me is 1, being argumentative, and 2, name calling when you're in an argument. Because I don't argue. like we can bicker about like some petty shit. I'll talk about like we can argue over just the dumbest stuff, you know, just something that doesn't mean anything. But when it really comes down to like the real serious like shit that we need to figure out, I'm not gonna argue with you. We can sit down, we can have a conversation like adults. And to that point, you know, like if you are trying to be argumentative and you're mad or whatever, you know, that name calling shit, it doesn't sit right with me. Because I know I'm not going to do it to you. You know, I'm not going to call you a bitch or any of these other, you know, anything else. So, you know, give me some common courtesy and don't do do that to me. Because that really don't sit right with me. Is when people speak out of anger and don't think. So those were just a couple that I came up with that pertain to me personally. That's really all I got on those ones, though.
Ace, what do you got for us?
Motherfucker, you know I don't read red flags. If I looked at red flags, my ass wouldn't have gone to California.
Yeah,
but
for us,
since then,
because
since then, for me, red flags are, with today's day and age, you have to watch the phone. If the person you're with is going to like be sitting there texting the entire time that they're with you, but yet whenever you look over they like lock their phone and put it down. My sister, I believe it was her that told me this. If whenever you store your phone, if you store your phone face down, that means that you don't want the person that you're with to see what pops up on it whenever it goes off.
Yeah,
that's good, sis.
I'm with you.
That's good. But that's a big red flag, and I believe it was Angel had mentioned that in this day and age it's easier to cheat in a relationship because if you're not always together, you've got the ability to do it right there in your hand. So I mean, with Carrie and I, we both have access to each other's phones. There, at any given time, if I wanted to say, "Let me see your phone," she'd hand it over. If she said, "Let me see your phone," I'd hand it over. I mean, we have nothing to hide from each other. I guess exactly. Yeah. See, no, that's what I said. I said I believe it was you. No, I said that. I know you did. See, you keep saying number 3, and that makes me remember a guy that lived across the street from me whenever I lived in Oklahoma. He actually had personalized license plates for his wife that said wife number 4. For real. But anyway. Okay. Oh, you're the one that said cheating was easier. Okay, it was Desi, not Angel. All right. But another red flag. Squirrel.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Angel.
Yeah, the gay one was better. She told me all about that one.
Another red flag.
I don't know. I think. Do you know me? And instead of sitting here, just what?
On the phone,
yeah.
that's another red flag.
What's another red flag?
No, you.
She was trying to tell you where you
lost
left
your
off,
train of thought.
jackass.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't know. I thought she was going to tell me another red flag.
Another red flag is
Baby girl.
Oh,
your dad's getting
another
worse.
red flag is chasing
Just so you know.
not willing to video chat. That's another red flag for me.
Yes, if you're not willing to video chat,
If you're in long
if you're not willing to show your face, Like if you go out on a limb and and you send somebody a video of you just saying, "Good morning. Wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you," and they don't respond with the video, that could be a red flag. I'm gonna stop that right there because I had somebody try that with me one time to send me a video, you know, just saying good morning, and I almost threw my phone because I could smell their breath through the phone. So yeah, you know what? I'm good. Just text me. You know what I'm saying? You could have just texted me. After you brush your teeth first, then because it's coming through. I saw the full screen. It was like in the movie The Ring, you know, and like yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. But fog and everything. Gotcha. Anyway, you got another. But yeah, that's all I got. Okay, that's all. I mean, my daughter put one in chat saying the way that they treat animals. Depending on the way they treat animals, it's a red flag. Because if they treat them like shit, then they're not going to be the right person for someone who is a dog lover. Yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah, if your dogs don't like them. Yeah. Now me, like anybody that's been in the house, I yell at my dogs all the time. I yell at them. I'm like, get your ass over. I mean, but you know what? They also know, and everybody else in the house knows, one of the first persons they run to is me. And that's because I take care of them. But at the same time, number one, they're still an animal, and they're gonna have to understand some stuff. You know, the discipline, all that stuff has got to be kicked in there because I got to make sure, especially with the types of dogs we have, that if they don't listen to nobody else in this house, they will listen to me because if something happens, someone's got to be able to take control of that animal. And I am that person. Now, quick, I'm gonna give you 5 of the right now top 5 red flags that you should probably look out for. And we're gonna wrap this show up. But number 1, or basically number 5, we'll count down. So number 5 is not introducing you to family. Now this one, I mean so basically, they're always making an excuse. Like if you haven't had a conversation on family stuff, and like you know, Des is watching this, and our situation is a little different. But at the same time, it is what it is. But if you're with somebody, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go see my family, or you're over there at the house, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, well, I'll see you tomorrow, something like that. Well, I thought about staying over. Oh, no, I got, my brother or my sister or my mom's coming by. Oh, I can yeah. You get one of those, then you might want to reconsider that relationship. What's going on with that? A lot of that also has to depend on how early on in the relationship it is too. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's 100% too. I mean, I definitely get that because like you said, there's some people that'll sit there and, and say, they won't introduce me to their parents. Like, I've literally only known you a week. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, they don't want it. And I'll be honest with you, some people, they may not want to introduce you to their family because maybe they've had some bad relationships, and instead of trying to, bring you over there to immediately meet their family, they want to make sure that this is something that's going to work before my family starts to like you, and all of a sudden now we're not together anymore. So there's that. I mean, there's so many different things, but that could be a red flag depending on what's going on in the relationship. Now this one, I don't really agree with. I mean, it's on this survey. It's stylecraze.com. I don't necessarily agree with this one because it kind of depends on what the situation is, and that's refusing to talk about feelings. And like I said, I don't really agree with this one simply because, Ace and I, especially on our platforms, and then, Big Sam, we deal with a lot of people that have trauma. Was from abusive relationship, for me, from my part, being in the military, dealing with PTSD, depression, anxiety. We deal with a lot of people that deal with that stuff. That's not something that is easily done.
So to expect somebody to just talk about how they're feeling right off the bat, and not have the context of what's going on, like I said, I don't really agree with that one. But I mean, I can see how some people might take that like that. Number 3, God bless America. Number 3 is they're never ready to compromise. Once again, that is what it is. I mean, compromise to me, I don't like that word, because if you're with somebody and you have to compromise, that means you're losing something. You're losing, they're losing, instead of coming up with a solution where everybody wins, or at least understands what's going on. So I think, like, when you talk about start compromising stuff, you got to be careful what it is, because it may be one thing today, it might be something tomorrow. So number 2 is they are manipulative. Now that's something you have to really kind of keep an eye on. As far as, if they're getting you to do stuff or how they're playing stuff, and I think Sam had an issue with or could have sworn we talked about that at one point in time. But that's got to be something you got to watch out for. And then the number one thing is, and this is something I think needs to be really looked at a lot more than what people do, and that's disrespectful behavior. How do they treat the waiter or waitresses when you go out to eat? How do they talk to their friends, family? How they, I think somebody said how they treat their animals. Those are all things you really should be looking at, because if they're that disrespectful, especially in public, or if they're making sly comments to you behind closed doors, I guarantee it's probably not going to get much better down the road. So, I mean, those are the top 5 things one of the top 5 things they were talking about as far as checking out red flags. Well, check it out. Listen, we're going to go ahead and shut this show down, this episode, because I know Brian's about to do his live TikTok with the trivia. I know he's getting ready for that show. I definitely want to go on there, because I always say something. I hardly ever answer questions. I just like to just say random comments. Tyler Perry for the win. So I just like to say random things. But anyways, gentlemen, look, I really appreciate doing this show with you guys, this episode with you. Especially want to give a special thanks to the people that was in the live chat. Like I said, if you want to check us out, definitely check us out on our YouTube channel at Birdman Show Podcast 9643. We are now on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/The Birdman Show to contribute, be part of that. Like I said, I'll probably be putting on some bloopers, bonus content, some extra poll questions or different things that we can interact with and things like that. Big Sam, you have anything that you want to say to end the show?
Man, I just want to fund my sugar mama. That's all.
Okay, for all the sugar moms out there, saying, reach out to Big Sam. Okay, he's a big teddy bear. You know what I'm saying? If it's winter, he'll keep you warm. All right, just hit him up. All right, we're gonna do this thing. Ace, real quick, jump back on here. Tell the people where they can find you out on TikTok, so that way if they want to join the trivia, they can hit you up on that.
If you guys are interested in having some trivia, I know most everybody that's in the chat right now is from my TikTok, but for those who watch this post recording or listen to it on Spotify and are interested in trivia, come check me out. Do a search on TikTok for Acehore. That is ACEHORE. And every Wednesday night I do trivia. It's random stuff. If you get the question right, you get to pick the next category. So it is Wednesday night. We usually start. What?
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I was like, huh? But
slow down there, Hoss.
Anyway, I'm trying to get it all in because I'm here and they're listening to me say all of this. Yeah, but Wednesday nights, right directly after the podcast, I do my trivia live. So come out and my podcast, like it's my podcast after Birdman's podcast. I do my trivia live, so come out and join us. It's Sam's fucking show. It's the
Whatever.
Ogre's show. This is the Ogre Live.
And I also forgot because we had already discussed this, but we're not gonna do it this week.
Yeah.
But probably starting next week, we're gonna be doing a live. I'll be on my TikTok, which is Birdman at Birdman Show, and we're gonna be doing a live TikTok event on there to discuss the past show, interact with people, so that way we get into live boxes and everything like that. So if you're definitely watching on Aces, I think I'm pretty much friends with most of the people that are on that one. If you're on there and you want to get on there on the live box, that we can discuss, things that happen on the show, this is that. That's going to be another form we're going to do. Like I said, we're not going to do it this week, but we'll start next week once we make sure we got we're agreement on the day and time. So, good show, guys. I really appreciate it once again. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you for our sponsors, Riverside.fm, Spotify for podcasters, Spotify itself, Doobie Energy Drinks. Just really want to thank my co-hosts Ace and Big Sam. Great job, and I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful day. You guys already know what to do. We out.